Was good, yeah. Stage 10 is out and it's time we clear it. So, team first, we'll be talking about units that are essential, units that are replaceable. Alright, so Isolde straight off the bat and Oleg. Isolde and Oleg, 2 tanks. You can replace them with 2 stronger tanks, but I highly recommend staying in the Northerner faction. It's definitely possible without, but it's just easier if you can boost Vortex and Medan. So Northerner faction, which means you could swap Isolde for King Horus, and you could swap Oleg for like Brockier or Crodor. Those are like the swaps possible. Then we have Vortex and Medan. Vortex and Medan are both essential. I wouldn't touch those. Then we have Volker. Volker can be replaced by any ranged DPS. If you want to replace Volker, I do recommend to use someone like an Arrogance or an Ardea to replace her. But you could also just use Volker, because I mean everybody has Volker, right? Then we have Lunaria. Lunaria is an important part is that you have a Piercer Lord. It could be a Raka, it could be Lunaria, it could be Yaiova, it doesn't matter. We're also not going to place her anyway, Lunaria that is, so she doesn't need to be built. Nyx is pretty essential to this strategy, so the way we are clearing this right now. Silas also has a rather... Honestly, I would say he's almost also required. So Nyx and Silas, and then Liam. Liam is also required, and trust me, you're going to know towards the end of the fight that it was the right decision to bring him. And then we bring in Hollow for some extra rage regen. I guess you could replace her with another healer, but the extra rage regen, especially because we're not running Eloin, is quite nice. Alright, yeah, here we go, stage 10. We'll be kind of combining a guide with also the reasoning for it. So we start off with Nyx. Nyx is, at least for the moment, the only one I found that can reliably kill all of these guys. The reason why you want to kill them and why it's so difficult is because they have high magic res, so only piercing damage or normal damage works. They do a ridiculous amount of magic damage. And also, as you can see, up to 3 targets within 3 tiles, right? So it's 1 tile, 2 tiles, 3 tiles, and overall you can imagine it as these being compromised, and only this tile and this working right there. Another unit that can take care of all of them is most likely going to be Setram, but Nyx has the added benefit of overall providing AoE damage in general, which is really helpful and is going to be quite crucial for making this fight overall just better. It just makes it smoother. So here we go with Oleg, and then once Oleg crosses like half health, whenever that happens for you, we'll be bringing in Medan to ensure that Oleg doesn't die. And the reason why we wait with Medan is because these dudes hit for a crap ton of damage, right? As we already talked about, they hit for a crap ton of damage. So if you bring in Medan too early because they target last placed units, Medan could die. Next step is bringing in Vortex and ignoring the unit at the bottom. So for those wondering why the unit passed in general and why Medan is so crucial, is because these guys do burns. He does stacking vulnerability with burns. These guys do stuns, which is what happened and the reason why these guys went past Oleg. They just stunned him. Stun kind of works like freeze. Then we have these dudes who do bleeds and these guys who do some more burning. So as you can see, a lot of debuffs and a lot of potential to actually cleanse them with Medan, right? So we have our units in, and now something that you actually want to do is, there is this mage right here. Most of the time he doesn't get killed by your Nyx. So the plan is to just place down these units right here, and you want to wait for him to walk, right? It's a bit awkward to explain, but if this mage doesn't die, you want to let him walk down, right? You want to let him walk down, and you're going to wait with placing Volker up until the mage enters around this tile so Volker can hit him. That is really crucial, and that is also the reason why we're not going to place anything on this tile, because that mage would just kill anything we place there. So You see these flames around Nyx and the fact that she's taking periodic burn damage. That is your sign to use Medan. As soon as this guy inflicts burns on Nyx, you have to use Medan. By this time, the mage should have entered the range. I'm going to play you I probably have already played you a quick clip on how to deal with that whole situation, right? With the mage at the bottom. But yeah, you need to use Medan to cleanse the burn when the mage inflicts it. And you also want to, when he starts attacking Hollow, activate Vortex's ultimate so we can keep Hollow alive. So we'll be waiting for this guy to close in, so getting closer to Sila's range. That also coincides with these flying units right there entering the range. So that's also the nice part. Nyx does piercing damage and AoE damage, which hits all of these flying units who are a pain in the ass. And then we obviously have Silas to take care of the rest. And if he's funky, he attacks the mage. If he isn't, then honestly that's just the way it is, and it's not too bad. So yeah, the main plan is the same as we had for the beta stages. Use Oleg plus Medan plus Hollow to survive, to make Oleg survive here, block the tank, and use Volker plus Isolde at the bottom lane to take care of any stragglers that pass Oleg, because there's going to be a lot. Nyx does a fantastic job of adding some extra damage onto them, but there's going to be a lot of these guys that actually will be able to pass. So right here, Silas died. That is because the mage is now locked onto Oleg, which is really, really good. So next time we place in Silas is not going to be targeted by the mage. And like we already talked about too many times in, 5 minutes, the mage is just doing a crap ton amount of damage. So here we go. And now for the top, it's the same situation. As soon as Nyx starts burning, right? So we are a bit too late because we used Medan's ultimate. But as soon as Nyx starts burning, you need to activate Medan's ultimate to cleanse, or Eloin's ultimate to cleanse, right? Eloin is obviously a swap in for Medan. That's just going to make life easier. So there we go. We did the cleanse, and now at least Nyx isn't going to get attacked anymore. Silas is there to take care of these mages to some extent. It's obviously not perfect, but at least for that we basically have Nyx, right? Let's see if Nyx survives. There we go. So Nyx is again going to do AoE, piercing damage, and if the mage actually gets closer to Oleg, she's also going to be able to hit multiple of them. Oh, okay, Medan died. Medan dying there is alright. It's not great, but it's alright. Then we have Nyx to do some more damage against these mages, because those, I mean, yeah, they are just disgusting. And then Nyx died. But it's all fine. The crucial part is that you deal with the mages, because the less mages you need to defend at the bottom lane, the higher your chances of actually doing so. Alright, yeah, some quick RNG explanation. What you see on this screen is the potential for Volderon to move past your tank. The reason that happens is because the stun units might stun your tank so that Volderon just walks past him. When that happens, he's going to do a whole run around Medan and around Nyx, and then just come back down to get blocked by Oleg. You can do that once. That can happen once, because the boss is going to get back to Oleg in the middle there a total of 3 times, so you can walk once free. And now the most important tip for this fight: keep Nyx alive. If you can keep Nyx alive throughout this whole fight, it becomes way easier, and you might not even need Silas. That's already been it, and on with the fight. Like, would you look at this, like, this disgustingness? This guy is hitting both Volker and Isolde for, again, metric amounts of damage. So here we're going to wait until the mage actually gets blocked or focuses on Isolde. So we're going to bring in Silas for support. We activate Vortex's ultimate for the shields. And Silas is just there for some extra damage support. And here you can league one more unit. We're going to activate Isolde for the extra block, which is quite huge. Silas to take care of the stragglers once more. Nyx, Midan to cleanse herself off of the debuff. And then we wait for these mages to once more get closer there. So bottom lane is looking nice. We're actually going to activate Oleg's ultimate after he pops his shield right here. Vortex ultimate too. And then we bring Nyx in again, so we can start laying in some work against these mages. So there we go. Nyx ultimate activated. Some extra damage against the mages. And here's once more an example. We put in Silas, he gets attacked and he's dead. Right? It goes in the blink of an eye. So there we go. We've dealt with 42 enemies. There's still one mage left that we can't quite hit, and one mage attacking the bottom lane. See, even a single mage, if you don't pay close attention, use everything in your arsenal, even a single mage is going to be able to completely and utterly wreck your whole game plan. So yeah, there we go. Oh, this is disgusting. Luckily enough for us, we can let this mage walk, which is exactly what we're going to do. Obviously, if we played it a bit more perfectly, with timing our ultimates a bit more, everything would have been fine, but we can afford to let him walk, and that is what we're going to do. There's no need for us to try so hard. And we again have Volker, so we can start bringing our units in back earlier. And now what we'll be doing is placing down Liam. Now it's finally Liam's time to shine. And we build again our kind of healing box, right? We have Isolde for some extra damage reduction, Hollow for rage regen, Liam for damage, Vortex for shields, Midan for cleanses, and Silas is gonna be kind of like a, okay, we swap him, we bring him in, but he's not gonna do a bunch of damage. So this mechanic that we haven't yet talked about is the sword right here. What the sword does, it increases Verdron's attack by up to 60% and increases his damage reduction by up to 60%. This damage reduction increase is the reason why Silas becomes unviable. Now the keen eye might have already, or the keen brain might have already thought about it. Yes, this is made for Lucius, right? You could use a Lucius to cleanse him of all his stacks, but we don't do that. We just bring Liam. Screw RNG, screw the game. We do not need it. I don't need it. So yeah, this is our formation. And y'all remember how long the alpha stages took? Yeah, this is going to take a bit longer. And you know how the dragon healed himself once? Yeah, Waldron got the premium. He respawns twice. Yay! So just to make it a bit faster, after a chaos wave we can bring in Silas. And Silas should at least be able to get his ultimate off to an extent. And then he's just gonna die with the next chaos wave, right? So from here on out, we just fast forward time until something interesting happens. Alright, something interesting has happened. The boss has risen from his grave. And yeah, he's gonna do a whole lot of AoE map damage right here. 35k, killing basically everyone besides the tankiest of units. But that's fine. We don't care, we don't mind. and then we just wait for him to go back around and enter this tile. This is probably the only spot where you can block him 3 times in a row and also have all these different tiles that you can place units to make this work, which is why we picked this block. Obviously, this boss is still going to go up to 90 and then 100% damage reduction and also up to 100% attack, but we have stacked enough HP that at least Liam and our healers are able to survive this. So yeah, onto the same thing again. Alright, yeah, time for some context. So what's going to happen here, or what happened here, is I played a fight where Liam didn't have enough HP, right? So I had to replace the end part because Liam didn't have enough HP, and I didn't record the whole fight, so this ending is slightly different. Furthermore, I had to use that one to kind of record certain RNG scenarios, because the run overall has some wonky RNG changes, which obviously you'll have seen throughout the video. Let me tell you something else. As you see in this part right here, this is once more yours truly giving you a auto only fight. So you can hit the auto button and then just do something else with your life. Like for example, while this video is being made, I am watching the Denmark versus Germany Europa game. So yeah, that's already all I wanted to say. Enjoy it towards the end of the fight. If you want to, feel free to fast forward even more. But yeah, that's already basically all I wanted to say. Alrighty, woo! There we go, stage done. Now, obviously, the most important part is, for most of you, I guess, it's going to be gear. So we'll be going... Alright, now the final thing we need to do, which is obviously talk about gearing. Isolde, give her your tankiest gear possible, or I get now your second... Yeah, give her your tankiest gear possible. For example, stats to go by would be 300% HP, 100% defense, whatever attack speed you can manage, and then the rest doesn't really matter. So 300% to 100%, and then a Bastion Ring. The higher the Bastion Ring, the greater the survivability, obviously. Mida, around 300% HP, high attack speed, because we're running an attack speed necklace. You really need around like 300 attack speed to be reliably able to keep Nyx alive. So 300% HP, around 300 attack speed, some healing effect. The rage region is nice, but it's not needed as long as you keep her ultimate for the times when the mages come out. So you can also use the golden scarab for some extra rage region. Oleg, tanky gear. So we have this funny when deployed HP plus 20 and when attacks recovers 5% of max HP gear, but it's not needed. You can also use a guardian set gear or even a broken set. It just requires, it might require better stats. So stat wise, again, 300% HP, 100% defense, 100 attack speed, and that's it. Artifact wise, we're also running him in a Bastion Ring. But you could, he also needs the Bastion Ring, but he doesn't need it as high as Isolde might. Vortex. So Vortex, 300% HP, 300 attack speed, and then some healing effect. That's pretty much all. Golden Scarab for some rage region, but you do not need any rage region stats. His ultimate will be ready whenever you need it to. Volker. So Volker has DPS gear, which means 300% attack, 300 attack speed, but more like 200 is totally fine. And then whatever rest you can put into crit damage. Obviously you'll have an easier time if you place down an Arrogance instead of Volker when it comes to killing the enemies. But keep in mind you won't have that nice respawn time, which might jeopardize the fight. Wailing Skull isn't necessarily needed, but it is a really huge help when it comes to dealing with the enemies at the bottom. Lunaria, as we already briefly talked about in the beginning, doesn't have any gear at all. Nyx is going to go with 250% attack, 200 attack speed, 100% crit rate, 150 crit damage, and a sharpshooter's credit 25. The higher your Nyx's awakenings, the higher your Nyx's awakenings, the higher your Piercer Lord. So if it's like an Araka or an Iowa, you can take less. Then we have Silas. Silas has around, again, 250 attack, 150 attack speed, 100% crit rate, 175% crit damage, and a Spirit Siphon. But now that I think about it, you might be able to just do it with just Nyx. You might be able to do it with just Nyx if you can keep her alive completely. Or at least you do not necessarily need it to be Silas. Then we have Liam. Now Liam's build is gonna be a bit hard for most people to actually reach those stats, but you are in luck. You don't need those stats. You need you want the same amount of HP, and that's it. So the way what kind of HP we're looking for is going to be a total of 28,000, like 28,000 to 28,500. Furthermore, because a couple of you were always mentioning it, and it makes some sense. Here we have the Pantheon bonus, which gives us extra HP of 21%. You might have it higher, you might have it lower, you might need something else, but yeah, depending on if you have a lower percentage there, you might need to go with even more HP. Now let's get back to Liam. He's obviously 6/6 promoted, and the way you do every single piece on the right side is going to be HP percent with HP flat. HP percent with HP flat, and then you can worry about the rest. The rest would be attack speed and rage regen, because those stats just make the fight go faster. You're going to be able to kill the boss, it's just the boss dies faster. Then again, HP percent with HP flat. Here we have HP with attack speed, rage regen, and HP, which is obviously really good, but you don't need it. It's once more just extra rage regen. So you could go with an HP set with attack speed, or HP set with rage regen, or HP set with nothing else. And here we go with an attack, like we could go with HP and attack speed. The Liam build really just is all about speed, right? The more attack speed, the more rage regen your Liam has, the faster the fight will go, especially the last part. But it doesn't make any difference in the viability of killing the fight. So there's one last unit we need to talk about, and that is going to be Cultists, in the sense that it's Hollow. So Hollow is rather simple. You want her at around 32,000 HP total, and then give her whatever artifact you might have. You could give her a better artifact and then need less gear. And the way we did it substat wise is HP percent with rage regen, HP percent with attack speed, rage regen with attack speed and HP percent, attack speed and rage regen, and attack speed and rage regen. So getting the amount of HP on Hollow is not as difficult. So yeah, this concludes this fight. It's been an awful experience, but overall it's still pretty fun trying to figure it out. Peace.